Hey guys, I am just doing all the sharing stuff off camera so I can concentrate a little better. I'm trying this. Come on and I'll be with you shortly. So great to be here, you guys. Let me see where else I can share. Oh, let's share. Yeah, let's share just to my other page. I think I'd be used to this now. Let's see here. How to choose how to. Oh, I don't want to do that. So weird. Why can't I just share to my profile page? It doesn't like that anymore. Share to a page. Let's see if I can find Brenda Schweder. Oh well. Good enough. Good enough. Good enough. How is everybody? I gotta load comments here. Hi. Hi, I'm having a kind of a mauve. Is it mauve or mauve? A mauve day here. This isn't a color I usually wear, but I've just been so intrigued by it. It's actually used to be one of my least favorite colors, but I think that's the 80s mentality when it was everywhere. I'm gonna call it mauve because mauve just seems wrong. Hello, notified and got here quick. Excellent. Hi, Susan. Hi, so good to see you. Yeah, so let's do some little things here. And I'm so excited today. We're going to be doing a little bit of wire capturing. I'm not going to be working with the hammers today because, you know, it's just a little bit futzy for that. We're not doing any hammering. Hi, Miss Ruth. It's good to see you. I popped in on Sarah, who did I pop in on? Kristen Fagan and was it Kristen Fagan? No, it wasn't Kristen Fagan. Oh my God, Sarah Ellis, I think. Good God. Man, my brain is just went dead. Who does? She's gonna kill me for this because she was so sweet during during their live yesterday. The beautiful lady who does the beadle-on wire weaving thing, Juliana. Mwah, mwah, mwah. So good to see you. Hi, Chris Joseph. Just the email and made it. You just got the email. Great. Wow. So the emails, which are my e-blogs, I just sent a little bit out today. I don't know how long you've been getting them. Thank you, Julie. Good gracious. How embarrassing is that? It's like if I had enough cheat sheets out here, that's all you would see, and I wouldn't be able to index all my cheat sheets anyway. Yeah, so the e-blog just came out. What I do is in MailChimp, you can do either like set your time at wherever you want it, or it will optimize for you, like what's the best time of day. And sometimes it's like noon. So Thursday, I always got to make sure and look at it because I'm like, you know, I don't want it to be too late so you guys don't get too late of a notice for when all this good stuff is going to come out. So yeah, thank you for watching that, or for paying attention, I guess. So, oh my gosh, where is this? I hope you guys can see. All of a sudden, I'm looking at mine, and it says, "Sorry, we're having trouble playing this video." But might just be. Looks like you guys are fine. I hope. Let me just crank this here. It might just be because I'm not using the right internet out here in the sahuaritacasita. So yeah. So you guys, next Thursday, before I forget to say this. Remember way back when we were hot on the trail of our here we go. Let's get the brain going here. Our beads of courage things, you guys. And so we were hot on the trail. We did juice caps. We did, what else did we do the first time? We did the TV tray collaboration. Well, I'm going to announce it, and this is kind of a goofy time to be doing this, but I'm going to announce the next one, which I'm just going to do 3. I've just been like having all kinds of fun with this stuff, right? But what I want to do is do the 3rd one finally. And I apologize. Here, I'm also cutting while I'm prepping while I'm talking to you. Focused on you now. Hi, Terry. But what I want to do is I want to finally have our auction of all the Beads of Courage collaborations that we've been doing so beautifully. I have them all. Don't worry, they're in this little safe spot that I've got. I laugh because I can see myself. I'm like, what I really look like. I'm like, whoa. That way we can do it during the gem show. I'm going to be doing some stuff during the gem show. I don't know what all the shows are doing in the gem show. No one knows until it gets here, right? I mean, it's just a big free-for-all this year. Poor Interweaver, Golden Peak Media, their poor catalog is just, they're not doing the printed catalog, which just kind of tells you the nature of the beast, which it is what it is, right, this year. I don't think there's going to be a single year in history where we have wanted to ring in the new year with more zeal. What do you think? I think I'm right. I think I'm pretty safe on that bet. So yeah, so great to see all you guys. Thanks for coming on. So what I want to do is so I've got some ideas. I know we talked about this a little bit a while ago, and Ruth, it might have been you that said, hey, let's kind of give us a lot of different options of things that we can, and I still might want to do that. That is going to be like an Etsy nightmare, but I think I can do it. Maybe I'll have Sarah help me with that, and just have different things that you can pick and different found objects, because I think the problem with the juice cap one, even though I think, it was so great, we've got so many juice caps and I can see all these possibilities, certain people, Susan, aren't as exuberant about that as I might be. So I think that way we can have a lot of different things, and you guys can pick, and we'll just get going. So I want to do that before Christmas because, you know, I'll do it, we'll have the auction in like early February, but that, you know, and I know Christmas is really hard to get anything, so that's why I kind of want to get it in under the belt here and give you guys some time to do it, because I don't want, like, you know, before you know it, February's going to be here. Just like, oh my God, even though this has been in some ways the longest year in the whole wide world, 2020 is done. Yes. LOL juice caps. I figured you were still here, Susan. I'd get a rise out of you on that one. So, let me see here. I've got my little cheat sheets here. You guys, a couple weeks ago, I did this project on the Great Bead Extravaganza. If you have not signed up for that group on Facebook, get in there. We are finalizing as a group. There's an original 17 of us. We call ourselves the original 17 presenters who went live, I think it was a month ago now, the first weekend in November, and did all kinds of things. And all of those projects are there. You'll also see my projects, all the projects that I do now are on YouTube, on Brenda Schweder channel. So grab those and look at those. I also did, I don't know if I have a finished picture of this one, but last week I did this kind of fun little guy here with juice caps and just learning to forge. This week, even though my little ad said that it was a Now That's a Hammer project, this one's not a Now That's a Hammer project at all, and that's okay. So I have a couple different like still shots because I think it's going to be hard for you to see some of the things I'm doing. I'm also trying to get into the habit of doing still shots for process shots so you can really see what I'm doing. That's the beauty of live, is not having a close-up little, you know, a little cute shot, because I don't have that kind of camera work here. All right. Bell, yes, the Bell telephone. Yes, Miss Denise, here they are. I thought they went well with the mauve. It It's not like we're doing any events. At least I'm not. Right. Well, whatever, right? Okay. So guys, okay, so let's get down to business here, and let's grab this side. We're going to go down. I'm going to show you here what I have been alluding to is a funny little thing that happened is that my kiddo and his girlfriend were here, and so she loves rocks. Like, she's more like a geode, big rock kind of gal than we are, right? I mean, I think we all love them. But we went to this rock shop called Tucson Mineral and Gem World, I think, or it's either that or Tucson Gem and Mineral World, one of those. It's up on, well, it's off Ajo. For those of you who are living there. Anyway, so we had the best time. We were just in there. There's my shopping buddy that I absolutely adore, because she and I can sculpt. We can, you know, any other shop, it would take other people like, you know, barely 15 minutes to go through, and she and I are there like Mrs. and Miss Nicole, Jimmy's girlfriend, James' girlfriend. We're there for hours while the guys were off shooting. So anyway, so this is called, these, aren't they gorgeous? They're called Vortex Healing Stone. And of course, you know, I love anything that's a little out of the ordinary. It says, and I quote, "This is an actual healing shaman vortex rock from Bell Rock in Sedona, Arizona. Bell Rock is the most extensively, I should have my craft optics on, documented true healing centers in North America." Well, a lot of you have heard about Sedona and all the fabulosity of that, but I just like them because they look like sort of like rock lipstick. This is like lipstick color to me. I just don't know if they're authentic. You want to know how I know? Because and I just love them. But is this the one? No, I think they're spray painted. But you know me, I love them anyway, because why not? They're so, so cool. Is this the one? Golly gee, there's one where it looks like, now I can't find it. Like it's been, here we go. That looks like paint, don't you think? I mean, this little bit, I think, I'm trying to get it off. But I thought it was so fun. And you know how, I've never tried to do this myself before, but this is so, and like, this is it. And honestly, it took me a little bit to do the R&D about that. This is the hardest part down here, how to start it. But basically, it's just some wrapping. You know, it's just some wrapping on the way up. And I'm using, for this one, I used a 26 gauge. Whoop, lip, 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 lip. 26 gauge, silver-plated hematite, or hematite. We're really having some words. Hematite, hematite, you know, mauve, Maeve. Maeve's the lady's name. This bunch. And what I've done is I've done a double thing. Let me see if I can get down here. Just because I kind of liked that heavy look of that. And I'm also, so I think you could go, I guess where I'm going with this is I think you could go, well, you try it out, you know what I mean? I think you could go to like a 20 gauge, maybe a 22 gauge with this if you just wanted to do a single. But I kind of like the look of this sort of double strand here. And it's just a little futzier to do, but you know, here's the tricky trick that I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. And then if you can kind of see in here, this is just like one of those wonky wraps up here, and I'll show you how to do that. That's really more where I'm going to get into the stills and kind of explain it. Maybe while I do it, we'll see what works best, because I'm really not that good at double dipping on my attention here. But way fun to do. So I'm going to start out with 24. This is one length. Yeah, let me get back up here. This is one length. And what I'm going to do is I want to show you, you know, I will try to do a little bit different thing so that you're getting kind of a, you know, double dip on your tutorial here. But this is a parawire silver-plated silver. So I thought that would be kind of pretty on this too. Now, it also depends, like, right, what kind of contrast you want. Like, this one almost looks like, okay, see what movie Christmas movie you might reference for this. And if you guess right, I'll give you the piece that I make today. How about that? You have to pay attention. So Christmas movie this little guy might make you think of. I don't know. It's a little obscure. You guys are probably thinking like, what is she talking about? But that's how my mind works. Poor Denise Peck, my editor, my past editor at Step by Step Wire Jewelry, had to like, what, Brenda, are you meaning by this? Especially my book editors. Poor Karen Buckingham, she was just like, I don't get it. What are you trying to say here? Because in my mind, the connections make sense. But in the real world, they're like this. That'll be a nice screenshot, by the way. Okay, so what I did is 24 inches, 4 strands. And what I did is I folded it in the middle. Okay. We're going to kind of go over to this area here. That's probably not a good way to point, because what I've done is I've set up my leather. Oh, Terry, oh my God, you guys. I'm gonna have to make 2. You're exactly right. Christmas story. I mean, I wasn't that obscure. I didn't expect, like, Brenda, what are you doing? No one is gonna get this. But 2 of you got it right away. Awesome, Terry and Araceli. Okay, I'm gonna have by the way, Araceli, it's so lovely to see you here again. So I will make 2. I will make 2 of these. I am a woman of my word. Yes, so the scene that I'm talking about is, the dad in A Christmas Story gets himself, he wins a prize. I think. Anyway, it's the leg lamp with the fishnet stockings. This is how my mind works. But apparently, Terry and Terry and Araceli, they got it. So, okay. So the hardest part about this, you guys, is actually doing the starting, because you're gonna pick up one of these Vortex rocks here. And I won't use this one, which really looks like it's painted. I'll use these 2, okay? And you're gonna have to kind of figure out like what you want. Jeez, Bren, let's go down here. What you want to be your top or your bottom, okay? And then, and believe me, so what these came in, like, what he does is he uses a glue gun and he sticks these in styrofoam. So there's all this like hot glue on here, which will be cleaned off, no worries. But I didn't necessarily think that you would want to see this beautiful styrofoam business. So what we need to do is we need to make a little circle first. And here, this is what I'm talking about. See, this is how we start here with this little circle. Obviously, it needs to be smaller than this because it needs to catch on the tip, right? So it needs to be smaller than that. Now, because I'm trying not to, like, for those of you who don't have Now That's a Jig, to get you so crazy that you don't have one, and it's not really fair to do too many tutorials where I'm using Now That's a Jig. But honest to God, I do not have the plier or the bail making plier that I would need to do this. And so I've got my jig set up over here to the right. But before we get to that, what I want to do is just show you how to start this. And yeah. So what I do is I am going to look at the bottom of this one. We'll start with this one and say, you know what? That is actually pretty big. Okay. This one started with my wire around a 3/8 inch peg. Okay. You might have like every Weber's tool or every bail making plier that you want, that you might need for this, but this is the one that I use for this one. I think I can go up to the 1/2 inch for this one, and glory be, I just put my 1/2 inch peg away, so I'm gonna go get that. because I always throw myself for a loop here, but it's right over here. I probably wouldn't even have to say that. I was disorganized. And I'm going to stick that right over here. Oh, right up. Oh, good Lord. I really need to shut that 222 alarm off. Oops. I did it again. Okay, we have to add this one back on again. Sorry. Luckily, last time I knew that I could add in with an upside down head. Add another. No, that's Instagram, Brenda. Here we go. We're going to add in another iPhone, and it's going to say allow. For Pete's sake. Share this device, share this camera, and do iPhone, and then allow. Good gracious. Okay, here we go, and we have to flip it around. Flip. All right. Okay, sorry guys. It's just so hard to remember things that you're not, okay, here we go. Oh my goodness. So let's come on down here. By the way, you guys, I grabbed some, I've just been doing, you see these piles over here? I got my cool Jim Gems, my new like Jim Gem sweats on. These are my fancy sweats. So let me come over here. What I did was can you see this? This is a vise that I've got set up here. We'll kind of come down here a little bit. Here's a vise that I've got set up, and this is just some leather lining that I've got. Because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be trapping this gemstone, right? This Shaman Vortex gemstone into this leather lined vise. But before I do that, I'm going to show you how to actually start this off. I'm going to grab my wire, right? And we're going to go to the down area again. And all I'm going to do is, I know this is my center point right here. And I'm going to separate these. And what I'm going to do is I want them separated so that we can actually twist them. So I'm going to go once. I'm going to do tightly twice. And those are half twists. Okay. Then I'm going to check over here and make sure that I've got a good twist. And actually to start, you need to go at least 3 times here, because otherwise it falls apart. I do not know why. It just does. Okay. So then, there's my computer and my Kleenex box. We're going to come back over here and come down to the jig. And right here I've got this 1/2-inch peg. Here's another great use for the swivel lock, is I'm going to actually trap the wire, this knot, close to the knot, in the swivel lock with this guy. Let's see if we can get it down here. All right. Okay. Let's do a little closer. Good thing we have a speedy, whoops, wrong way. I've been going in, back off, and let's tighten it in here more. There we go. And then we're going to, this is the, there we go. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm basically putting my craft optics on, and I want to go around. Okay, so I've got 2 and 2, and I'm basically going to the opposite side of this and going really tight at least 3 times. Now this is the only time you're going to do 3 times. And actually you would only need to do twice on this side. That's the first one you need to do 3 times on. So I'm going to go up is that like and then you have, let's go back to this view right here. And then you're going to have this beautiful circle. Whoa, there we go. This allows you to get this in here, and you're going to be doing some forming, okay? And this is almost too big, but this little nubbin right here, that is helping me keep this. So, you know, when you're starting to do this, and no two are going to be alike unless you've got some that are that aren't natural-ish. So we're going to go back over here, and now all I'm going to do, and this is the part that goes really pretty fast, is I'm going to trap this in my leather line vise. And this one's going to be a little bit more of a challenge, of course. I like to give myself challenges on live broadcasts. I want you to kind of just fit it with your fingers. And then you take the opposite ones. You take one from each side. And you're going to come down. Let's come down here. And what I kind of do is I kind of like to make, let's bring this up a little bit, guys. Trap it in there so that we can actually get to it. Let's do it this way. So I've got something to hold on to. So I guess the moral of this particular story is that you do want something that is going to be a little bit longer. This is the second part that is, if you did read my newsletter, kind of like trying to make sure that it kind of grabs onto that little piece. To do something like this, you really need something that's going to hold on to your piece, right? So that you can work on it. And right now here, I'd almost rather, you know, tape that down. But what I want to do is I want to make another little bend right here. And if it's in here good enough, I can actually come around. And it's nice to be able to make a bend against something. So this time you only need to do like 2. See, and it's gonna want to come off of there until you get it. OMG. Until you get it back on. So it'll start to, let me see, I just did that one. Yeah, that one right there. I think that's how it was on here. Yeah. That's fighting me. Oh, that's right, because I had it under that little ledge there. Let's see if we can get it down a little farther. There we go. And it's nice to work on something that's a little bit more natural, because you've got some inclusions and stuff that are going to work, you know, for you. So I'm basically just kind of going crisscross around some areas and working tight against the stone with, I always call this one, that's a half, and that's a full turn, okay? Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to take the opposite ones. Make sure that you're very deliberate with all your pieces, and then kind of like keep everything down amongst, onto the surface of the stone. And you're kind of just, again, 1, 2, and you're just going to keep going back and forth. Sometimes what I like to do is I like to go right along that ridge, because it gives you something, you know, kind of poppy-outy to work against. But I also like to kind of mix it up too and keep the knots in different places. Now you might like yours a little bit more symmetrical, so they're always kind of on the same area, but you know, that's not me. So now I'm grabbing, and each time you're going to swap. You're going to do these front back, or you're going to do these side. Hope that makes sense to you. And I'm going to go until I can't go any farther. Here we go. Like on this side, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and plop it in the opposite way. The leather lining of the vise is what gives us, see if I can still get to it. I wanted you to be able to see that too while we were holding on to it. So obviously you're not hurting that wire, especially when you're working with this gauge of wire. Ask me how I know. This morning I was just having a time of it and I had to start like 3 different times. So I'm going to go, oops, see, okay, so see how, you know, and if you're just having a harder time with your particular one, just lock it in there a little bit more. Kind of getting in there. Oops. Okay. So I was working this way, and now I'm going to go back to this way. So you're always taking, if you're deliberate with your twists, you're always going to have something that leads toward your next twist when you want to flop it. Okay, here. And you can see how lovely this works up. And it's just really forming to the sides very nicely. I'm going to go here. And this one, there wasn't really like a, you know, each end was a little pointy, so there wasn't really like that needs to be the top and that needs to be the bottom. So it kind of looks like, oops, it kind of looks like I could have done either. Okay, so now I'm at this point right here where I can really kind of, I can go maybe on this side a little bit longer, you know, a little bit further. Let's pop that up. You want to get, I think, as close to the top as you can. And then you'll have these to work with to do your bail. So the bail is made. Might as well just do this one more time here. I hope you're seeing me kind of do this overhand stuff. And now I'm gonna, whoops, that was 3. Now I'm gonna sit down and kind of show you, kind of go through, whoopsie, these guys right here. These are here. So let's see here. I went in order. So this is kind of what I was doing at first. I just want to give you the process shots for this. Working my way down with the black, which is, I'm so glad I did this in black first because you can see this is process shots. There's more contrast to them. So so I'm just kind of working my way down. And then I flip it, and this is where we're at right now. Is that we're figuring out a way to join everything at the top, so we have a center point from which that bail can start. Okay. Then I'm just kind of continuing on with that until I have 2 sides. Okay. And I'm going to split those up again, and I'm just going to twist, 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 twist until I find something that I can twist around. Now that's when I kind of go back to the jig for a second, and because I want that particular size to be uniform, because there's 2 things that I'm going. See how we're basically making two sides. We're going to roll them around something that's circular. I'll show you that in a minute from each side, and then we're going to kind of, you know, wrap it and make it a one as a unit here. And then you can just kind of wrap each thing around, and you can kind of see. Can you see what I'm showing underneath my finger there? Is basically I cut it pretty darn short, and I just give myself, you know, just like a 1/16 of an inch where I'm just going to kind of just try to work that back into the bail to get something that's a little more refined. Okay. So I'm going to give you a chance to catch up with me here, or me to catch up with you, and just take a look at how this is going to work. So right now I'm going to take this out of, I'm keep going back and forth. Let's see. When I move one camera, the other camera goes. So this is interesting. So I'm going to take this out of here. So this is what we've got so far, right? And I just want to show you kind of the difference here. So this is really an edgier, contrastier, sort of, you know, roguish version. And this is just the pretty version, right? Pretty glitzy version. I feel like I want to put more crystals on it. But here, up here, okay, if we can go back a little bit further, or we can go to this version here and see, this is what we've ended up with on top. If I can get it a little bit further down so you can see it. What I didn't do is, let me get this back over here. I'm going to put this in, is I want to join all of those at the top. And it'll be kind of hard to see, but I'm not sure exactly how else to do this for us. Is I'm just going to try to see, and I think that last one was really unnecessary, but actually, yeah, I do want everything in that center area. So I'm just going to take one from each side, right? And I'm going to twist. I'm going to take, this one was from this side, and from this side, and twist on top of that. And this isn't like, you know, rocket science here. But I think what I did is I just went like, and just, this is where you just kind of want to do this by hand and do just a little bit, trying to get some consistent wraps here. Yeah, it wants to kind of come off of here a little bit. So we might need to do a little bit of, and it's always, it's always easier to wrap toward yourself. But in this case, I don't want to be blocking you guys. So I'm going to do this. Okay. It's a little crazy. I might have to do a little, you can kind of see it's a little bit loose up here. So I might have to do some sort of just like reinforcement to come on back down here. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get each side long enough where when I take it down to here and put it on the jig, let's see that we can see that, we can go all the way around. Okay. And I'm still not making it yet. If I want to do this size, well, let's go down to, this is the 1/4 inch, and this is the 3/16 down here. Let's see if I go around. So basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to overlap, okay? And I can do this, looks like I can do this on the jig as well, maybe. Let's see, the jury's still out. Where I'm just going to grab one again from each opposite side. Okay. And I'm going to go around, and then I'm going to go down to the other side. Go around, and go down to the other side again. That way what I'm doing is I'm reinforcing this neck here, and I'm also getting everything tucked in. Let's go here. See, this is, it's just that it's a little bit more a little bit more, I guess, tricky. See, the other thing is this is so bright that it's just giving me, and I'm just going to put it back in here so that I can have have this to go by, have this to hold again. It's always nice to have something to hold on to. Okay, so this guy I'm kind of just checking here. I'm going to tighten that up. This guy, let's see, I'm going to come around to this side and tighten this up. What I'm trying to do is just make sure I've got a nice anchored area. Okay. Now I'm going to switch again. And I might be overdoing this a little bit, but I'm trying to get everything working in the same direction. Now you can see we're going to have some wire left over. I'm just going to true these up a little bit so I'm not working against myself. And all I'm doing is I'm just going to now take a stitch and I'm just going to stitch this. In here and up and around here again. And down. Okay. If you could, when you're working with several strands like this, sometimes what I do is I just like make my stitch, but then I go back and I take every individual one. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to like make these sort of like loops, and then what I'll do is coming from the other side I'll fill into these, and this just also helps me to reinforce this bail because yeah. So as usual, because I'm not working on this close enough, I'm getting a little bit of a mess here, but it'll be cleaned up. Don't worry, Araceli and Terry. Araceli. Okay, so now I'm actually just going to come from this side. I'm going to true these ends up again. So this is silver plated silver that I'm working with. So you can see that I'm going to have a little bit of a thing here. You know what? Actually, I'm going to stop because I need to figure out what's going on there before I finish it. Otherwise, I'm going to be in a hill of hurt. So let's see here. Let's come back to here and show you the finished product. Look what I did. but honestly, so all I did was I just added this I think this is like a 6mm suede, that deer lacing from the Lipstick Ranch. I just have a love, so much of a love for that. And I use it. It's just such a quick, talk about a quick workup of these like little Christmas things. And you know, they don't have to be pendants. They can be like a, you know, something for your rear view mirror. If you make it sturdy enough, you can make it into a keychain. So this is really a nice project for a lot of people on your list. I'm just going to go top down here and just kind of show you how nicely that can work up if you're not doing it live where you're like 3 feet away from what you're trying to do. So tune in, let's see. There we go. It's hard to get everything. So, you know, not too bad. And if you really don't like sort of the organicness of this, there's other ways to do this as well, where you basically sort of tie it off, and then you could get another kind of cap onto here, or you could, what else could you do? Just make it a little less wire intensive, I guess, make it a little more sleek. But when you're working with this double stuff here, I ended up with so much wire at the top that this was the best way I figured out to do, is just to kind of like, you know, blend this all in. And this way, you know, it's nice and tight. It's really working to hold the piece, and you're not going to have your Christmas presents coming back. So let me just kind of show you where I've gotten with this one and why I wanted to stop. It's harder to see, but I wasn't getting this nice, let me show you here. See, that's how it was supposed to look, where basically you're kind of like working around and looping it around, and then from the other side you're filling in those other gaps, so that what you end up having, so glad I took these process shots, is something that it's a little bit more consistent. Okay, you can also kind of work those in with nylon jawed pliers or something like that, or if you want to be really fastidious about it, you will just get your craft optics out and work it, you know, very, very closely and very carefully. Actually, this one's not so bad. As I look at it, it's not so bad. It's just hard to see because it's also just, you know, it's shining back at you. So, thanks, Terry. Thank you, Araceli. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of cute. And as you're working, it's nice to be able to, because you're making these little coils, right? Lay those flat as you're working. And you can see a lot of times what I did is I used the ridge to work against to make that. But sometimes I didn't want to. And then I just sort of like worked on the flat surface as well. But I like to kind of keep things a little bit more interesting for me. I think they're interesting. So there's your Vortex healing stone, an actual healing shaman Vortex rock, an actual one. What do you think? You think I got conned? I didn't care really. I just thought that they were cool, so I bought these 5 of them. That's what he had. I'm like, yep, want those. And they were like $3 a piece or something like that. You know, you probably had like a box of 60 in the back. But if you guys ever, and I don't know if you if Jim tagged me on this or not, but we got some really cool like specimens, and we got some rocks to put around in our yard, which is basically, if you live in Arizona, you know you don't really have grass unless you want to spend a whole lot of money on watering and have it die anyway. But I have basically my lawn as a rock garden. And that's the truth. So what I forgot to tell you guys is, and I mentioned this on the flip-flop, but our sponsor, as always, is Xuron Corporation. We absolutely adore our friends at Xuron Corporation because they make these fabulous tools. This is the one that I used most today for the cutting of everything. This is the baby Buttercutter, okay? So this one, I don't have, yes, I do have it marked. It's the 410. We call it the baby Buttercutter, right? Yeah, it's the 410, and it's the smaller version of the 2175, which is our heavy duty one, and you can see, again, how much I use this one. This one started out this orange. Kind of proud of that. I like my working patina, right? And I didn't use these too much. I kind of just used, I just left out what I had used for this particular one, but this is the 450 bent nose right here that I use. And basically, honestly, I just, you know, if I needed to get that wire through and I just need a little bit more help, this is a great, because it's a tweezer nose bent nose, which we love. And I think this is the tweezer nose chain nose too. So if you're looking to get in some tight spots, we absolutely can with Xuron tools. Hashtag make it with Xuron. I have to add that. And I'll get featured on their blog. Cool. So if you guys thought this was helpful, if you think that other people might want to make some fancy, quick workup, little, what do I call these? Wire captures, vortex captures. Please do share. It helps me keep doing what I'm doing. And I just love being here with you guys. So, you know that's true. So, ta-da. And, okay, we'll get back to this and this and this. And thank you so much to Zuram. I hope your Thanksgiving was lovely. Mine was super lovely. We ate out on our back porch. It was like 75. Total Brenda weather. But otherwise, I hope you're doing well and you're preparing and staying safe for the Christmas season, you guys. So important, you know, to keep in your bubble as much as you can, especially if you have members of your family like I do and have Miss Janet, Mother Janet, at your side. Yeah. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be on the lookout next. I gotta get this figured out by next Thursday when we go live, and we'll introduce the next Beads of Courage challenge. Let's get rid of that and that. And we will go from there. I'll give you the first idea of how to go about, hopefully give you some inspiration of how to go about actually making a Beads of Challenge piece that will be auctioned off for the kids. Remember, it's all for the kids. So don't be shy about it. If you're not quite sure of your work, I am sure it's wonderful. And your contribution will be so appreciated and well noted, and I'm sure beautiful. So, see, I got to take the cat to the vet. Speaking of COVID, I brought her in, and they wouldn't let me come in because even though I was asymptomatic, Jim tested positive. Not sure how for COVID, but he got over it real quick. So, how do you claim your prize, Terry? Thank you. I was thinking about this as you were doing your as I was doing the demo. Please just, I have Araceli's address. If you can just message me through Brenda Schweder Jewelry, I will pick up your address and I will ship this little baby out to you, and you'll have your very own Vortex rock. Thanks for asking. All right, you guys, you know I love you. And so thanks for popping in, and see you next Thursday. Mwah. Adios.